let's get started. Charles, what's going on? Doing good. Yeah, I'm feeling good now. I'm doing good now. I'm doing good. Charles, do you have a Discord? It's just severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Don't worry about that. Minor one. There is lots of flash flood warnings on though. Yeah, we're watching. We might go high. We might go high from Texarkana up through Little Rock tomorrow, all the way up towards Batesville, Arkansas. Leanne, if you have a Discord, message Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Add me as a friend, and I'll add you. I've got it set up. I'll show you guys, actually. I can show you guys, I think. Let me see if I can do this on stream. I gotta be careful about this, how I do this. Let's see. So, let's see how I can do this without revealing everything. This is the Discord. So what we have right here, this is a channel, live weather updates. So I have a radar in Shreveport, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Jackson, Kentucky on constant loop, and they're reposted by my NWS bot every 10 minutes. So now these are looping constantly. So what I'm going to do is every day, wherever there's severe weather, I'll have those local radars looping and updating every 10 minutes, straight from the National Weather Service in the Discord. There you go. So let me see something real quick. Let me go live on TikTok too. I'll start actually. Yeah, let me go live on TikTok 1 second. So yeah, so you'll be able to see. So this is where our outbreak is happening today, and tomorrow I'm going to move it down more and get some more radars down into Texas. But I'm setting it up so that we can have live updates on here. You know, these are all our latest risk zones that'll be posted every day. Hurricane updates, what's new with the hurricane season, winter storm updates, Enzo cycle updates, wildfire drought monitors, snowfall, rainfall, temperature, CPC latest outlooks, CSU, Colorado State University latest outlooks, obviously general talks, and a bunch of other stuff I have planned. But I'm really trying to get this one live weather. I want to set up at least a couple channels that can call out every warning as it's happening. So this can be, I'm trying to make this Discord kind of like a one-stop shop for everything that's going on weather while I'm not online, because until I can do this full-time, until I'm making enough money from this to do it full-time, I want there to be somewhere where people can go to get this stuff. So that is what is going on with that. Charles, 1 second. Let me switch back over now. What's going on, guys? What is going on, everyone? We're going to talk about something very significant tomorrow. We do still have some severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, and stuff going on, but we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this, especially this moderate hatch tornado risk. But obviously, we have a large categorical risk. There's a thought that this could go high in here, but we'll have to see. It would be a very small high zone. You can see how small that enhanced zone is as well. Bad storm last night in Ohio with 7-mile-per-hour winds. Some people lost power. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys were in that hatch wind zone up there in Ohio as well. A lot of Ohio was. Yeah, this is tomorrow. I mean, the atmosphere didn't totally take a breath today. We've had a lot of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings today and rainfall. Then we've got a day 3 categorical enhanced. This might go moderate. We'll see. And then we've got a day 4. And then, look, maybe we get a break here. Finally. But this is really worrisome. What could be going on with this? We could also see tornadoes in western Texas. If we we take a look at our HRRR. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good night. Laddie, what's going on? If we take a look at our HRRR, let's go into our. There we go. Check out what's going on in Texas out west. That the SBC isn't accounting for really right now. We're seeing some SIGTOR out here and some potential EF2 plus out here as well. Even though our biggest tornado risk is right here, ish. It's actually a little bit more tilted up. It's actually, it's actually more like this. But this is something we need to watch in this area up here as well as we go through the night. You can see that it wants to play some potential SIGTORs up here as well. So now there's probably an issue with this, or else they'd be labeling it. There's not a lot of surface cape up there. That's probably a big issue with it. Not a lot of surface. You can see not a lot of surface-based cape up there. Let's check out our helicity numbers. Our helicity is not... I mean, it's there. Not really at the right timing. And surface-based sin. I don't like the way that shows me it. Let me go back here to our tornado parameters, and then let's check out our sin. Yeah, I mean these SIGTOR params really aren't pushing anything up over into western Texas or out there, but our reflectivity wants us to have some decent spin ups out there. So interesting. Let's take a look at this. See what the problem is. No surface cape. Not a lot of helicity out here while that's all going on. So, all right, give me 1 second, guys. This is the 00Z as well. Yeah, I mean, really strong. I mean, decent supercell composites, but it's about it. Yeah. Good shear, directional shear. There's just unexistent surface cape out there. So, that's good. That's good. Tornado-wise for Bowling Green, Kentucky, what are you thinking? They've only gave flood warnings right now. Yeah, currently there's nothing going on out there. Oh, you know what time it is. Currently there's nothing going on out there. I'm watching it. Yeah, your flooding is definitely... Owensboro is getting a ton. I mean, we're talking possibly in some areas 10 inches of rain over the next 48 hours, guys. That's like biblical flooding. That's ridiculous. That's why they're calling it potentially historic. The more that rain falls, the lower your tornado chances go down. You're getting a lot of stabilization in the atmosphere. I'm looking at it on my radar right now in the background. So yeah, I mean, that's going to keep your atmosphere a lot more stable. We can see going into day 2 for you guys. You're barely in a marginal. You're not really in a tornado risk at all. There's too much rainfall up there. Getting into day 3, you've got that slight. I don't know. I don't think you may be in a 2%. You may be in a 2%. I don't think you're going to be more than a 2%. This would be Saturday into Sunday. But Louisiana has some fun here. Western Mississippi. And then again, Alabama. Western Alabama there. And then Alabama, this we'll have to watch this day. I think we could get a bigger risk this day. And I think we could see enhanced. And I think this could be a day for the Panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Georgia. Maybe even down here towards NOLA, Eastern Mississippi. The HRRR... Oh, no, wait. Let me see. Saturday, Tennessee. Will it see out that far? Probably right now. Yeah. Let's see. What? It might see out to Saturday morning. I'm not doing the radar math in my head right now. 48 hours. I guess it would actually. There you go. Yeah, it's seeing out to Saturday 6 p.m. That makes sense. So, Tennessee. Let's look at this. So, let's watch this. I mean, we're still seeing the HRRR want to potentially drop some spin-ups through this region tonight. Potentially. And then there's not much of a tornado risk up there. We move forward, and we start to see our tornado risk back here at around Friday, tomorrow evening. It looks like, the HRRR wants to creep some stuff back into here. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Mostly north of Tennessee. And then getting into Saturday, here we go again. You can see why they have this down here and into Mississippi. This is getting into Saturday afternoon. This is where our threat definitely looks like it is. This is a lot of rainfall, non-stop into Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Louisiana, southeastern Missouri, Arkansas. So much rainfall. And then, yes, you start to see some of that SIGTOR potentially move off to the east back into Tennessee. Yeah. Saturday evening. So we'll watch that. And then this is going to move off here farther into the east, into Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, northern Florida. Charles, you can add me on Connor's Climate Corner HQ, and I'll invite you to that. Don't know if you would be interested, but you can set a link that doesn't expire and throw it on your link tree or bio on it. Yeah, I've only started tweaking with stuff over the last couple days on there, so there's a lot of stuff I need to do it. Let's see here. Our SSW and polar vortex are like gone and dead. or the chances of them coming back really low. Our polar vortex is really a thing over winter in the northern hemisphere. It becomes a big high pressure as we push into spring. Heard that it might not be as bad as we think, and tornadoes might come later than expected. What are your thoughts? What for tomorrow? For where? For when? Kyle, when and where? Cool, Charles. Saturday is looking like a little more severe in Louisville now. Louisville. Potentially. I don't know. You guys are going to have so much rainfall. I don't know. I don't think you're going to get too much severe weather up there on Saturday. It's possible. You guys want to look at CSU? CSU. This will give us some good information. All right. Let's take a look at our day 3. Let's see here. We've got our day 1. We've got down there tomorrow. And then here's our day 3. So let's look at this. This is almost a high through Mississippi here, guys. Hatched from the CSU. This could overperform. They've got you in that 15% up in Kentucky. Again, there's a lot of rainfall up there. That's going to want to disrupt it. So that's your probabilistic outlook, 15% up there to the north. So let's open this one up. Experimental analog. So this is where it thinks your greatest chance is. Look, it has a little 10%er up there. I don't know. I think Louisville is going to be okay. Saturday. Texas tonight. Yeah, again, we're watching this, and the HRRR has this big explosion of SIGTORs in central to western Texas, but there's really not much to support that. There's your big explosion of SIGTORs. But you go to your significant tornado parameter and there's none. Okay, but that sometimes misses it. Let's go to our most unstable cape. It's not a lot for most unstable. Let's go to our surface-based cape. It's unexistent. Let's take a look at our dew points out there to the west. I mean, you know what I mean? This is not a dry line, guys. This is not a dry line. And these are low 50 dews. 40s. So, I don't know what the HRRR is doing out there. I don't know. But this stuff is going to be out here. This stuff is going to be out here to the east. Like we've been showing. And it could be very dangerous, if I'm being honest. This is your tornado, right? Tomorrow. That's a moderate hatched. There's a thought this thing could go high. That would be a potential tornado outbreak with a bunch of EF2 pluses thrown in there. Will Sunday upgrade to an enhanced risk? I think probably, yeah. Sunday, East Tennessee. This is going to be your Sunday. Oops, sorry. This is going to be your Sunday. So I think this will, I think this slight will increase, and I think we'll probably get a marginal out here, and I think we'll probably get an enhanced in here, something like this. It's typically how these things work out, but it's not for sure. It's not for sure. Xtina, what's going on? Do you think Lubbock, Texas is getting 4 inches of snow? Yeah, no. Okay, so let's look. Let's go here. Let's look at the latest on that snowfall from the Kuchara. A little making it into here a little bit, and you guys are. It's always hard for me to find you on that pivotal map. So you guys are like right in here. This doesn't want to give you any. Let's go to the NAM 18Z. Look at the NAM 18Z wanted to put 5-6 inches in there. The NAM is terrible with this stuff though. I trust the Euro even for short range more than long range. An inch or two. 1 to 3 inches maybe. This is going to be mixing, though. I don't know. I think you're lucky if you get 2 inches. I think you're lucky if you end up with 2 inches there, but who knows? Maybe a crazy over performance is in your future. You guys are even further up than that. Yeah, maybe a crazy over performance is in your future. Yeah, you guys are up here. Yeah, the Euro has you getting maybe 2 inches. The NAM likes that as well. HRRR. Potentially likes that as well. So I'd hope for 2 inches. If you get more, go buy a lotto ticket. But you may end up with all mixing. Connor, do the winds warm the Gulf of Mexico? Winds don't affect the temperature of the water. Well, kind of. They can pull warm water off the surface and then allow upwelling. And when you have upwelling, surface water cools, which doesn't allow as much heat off the water, which lowers your hurricane and thunderstorm chances off the ocean. But what happens is when you get southerly winds moving off of the Gulf, like this. Actually, let's go to our LLJ. Like this. Like we're going to have on Saturday. Like this. Pulling all of this warm, moist air off the Gulf. Raising your dew points here. And like I said, moist air is way more buoyant than dry air. So this is what allows that upward forcing and allows that moisture to rise, condense, and heat and fuel your thunderstorms. And then this is going to be as we go into Sunday. Watch this. This is going to be into Sunday, and you can see where that moisture and heat is being pulled right into here. This is the center of your low pressure system right there. You've got another little low spinning off back here. Big high pressure down here to the south. So that's going to block that from getting too far down into South Florida. And this is going to ride up the coast. Another high pressure out here. Another high pressure up here. Monticello, Kentucky, South Central area tonight. Can I sleep in peace? I'm running on coffee and Jesus. South Central Kentucky tonight. You know, you're not in any major. Yeah, I think you're fine. You could get a loud thunderstorm. The chances of large hail, destructive winds, or a tornado are almost zero in that area. Everything's staying to your north and cooling down right now. It's just, if I was there, I would go to bed and I wouldn't be worrying at all. Now, if something happens to you, don't come yell at me. But I'm just telling you, I'll show you what's going on out there. I'll show you. Okay, your storms are to the north. You're not even in your marginal anymore. There's flash flooding still in the area, so that's something you might want to watch out for. You're not even in a flash flood warning. And this stuff is going to trail off to the north and dissipate, and then we're going to have some more flow enter this area way down here to the south tomorrow. So this stuff is moving on out, and the severe chances of this are really pretty much gone through here. It's going to be hard to see any sort of severe thunderstorm warning through this entire area now. Pretty much gone. What do you think about the cyclone lurking in the Pacific? It freaks me out. If we have a cyclone lurking in the Pacific, are you messing with me? Where? Where's our Pacific? This is just these are normal up there. These happen every day. I mean, this is, it's a nice little. That'll bring some winds and rainfall to the coast. The tighter these get, the more powerful they get. You see how wide that is? It's not powerful. These are created by very warm waters from the western Pacific colliding. Remember, you have your equator here. Water goes up here. It's warm. And then you have cold air diving down. And you have massive air boundary differences here. And that's why you end up getting pressure gradients and massive cyclones. Notice why tornado winds blow the hardest? Because they're very small. Hurricanes are the second hardest. And then these ones blow hard, but they're not as strong as hurricanes. Notice how these storms get bigger. You have their winds become less significant because as they tighten up, there's more concentrated energy. These are just big spinning low pressure systems. Now, if this thing made it down here into warmer water, which they don't come down here, it would have enough warm water, 74-degree water or above it. It would be able to intensify and tighten up that circulation. But these are just low pressures. These are just low pressures that end up jumping into us and bringing us our severe weather eventually. But this one right here is pretty far out. It is going to move to the States, and look at that. There's your cyclone. It's going to come like this, and it's going to set up severe weather right over Dixie Alley again, potentially. But this is pretty far out. So there's plenty of time for this to change. Boom, right there. That's 324 hours out. So I'm not even worried about that yet. All right. Anything for the rest of the week in Ohio? Not much, no. Not much. Our SBC outlooks. Here's our day 2. You've got a tiny little marginal up there. You've got a tiny little slight in marginal day 3. I mean, I guess these are something. Little slight down there in Cincinnati, and a marginal down there in Cincinnati and Columbus. So not completely out of the water, I guess. Until we get into Sunday. Although. Yeah, until we get into Sunday afternoon. But Nothing major severe headed for you like we've kind of had recently. Mesquite, Texas. Where is that? Let's see. You guys need to pay attention tomorrow. You could have you do have some tornado potential tomorrow. So have weather alerts on. We can go over that timing. We can go over that timing. Here we go. H triple A. H triple A. There we are. There we are. There we are. We're getting fast. So this is when stuff starts to get severe tomorrow. So right here, we're talking 1 p.m. Central. We could see SIGTOR potential out here. Kind of close to you. And then that moves up there in Arkansas. Texarkana's not in the greatest place. Shout out. Yali, you in here? NTX, Pam, Christine, what's going on? Cresley, Julie, Suzette, Danny. I appreciate you guys. Julie, join my Discord. Join my Discord. Let's see here. Are there any tornado threats in Brea, Kentucky? We just had another severe thunderstorm warning. We have no tornado warnings down, and there's probably, we'll see if we get another one tonight, but it's not looking too bad right now. Brea, Kentucky. Where are you guys? Let's see. I'm looking at my radar on the other side. Brea. You guys are in flash flood warning. The odds of tornadoes, large hail, and destructive winds are almost zero for the rest of the night. You guys are pretty much out of any danger. So a little bit of a threat to your west. Not much still, though. The storm's losing its steam up there now. So looking pretty good for you guys. Appreciate it, Cheyenne. You can see the Gulf is so warm. Tropical tidbits. You guys want to see the temperature of the Gulf? Let's take a look. Everything just comes up so quick it's saved. I haven't been on tropical tidbits in a little bit. I'm always in there, obviously, during sea surface analysis, during hurricane season analogs, ocean analysis. There we go. Hurricane season, but sea surface temperature anomalies. I like that. Sea surface temperature is good, but anomalies is better. Okay, what's going on here, guys? Let's scroll over to the important part of the world. Just kidding. Yeah, look at the Gulf. Woo! This is why I'm worried about. This is why I am worried about our Texarkana, Arkansas, Little Rock event tomorrow. Look at these temperature anomalies in the northwestern Gulf. Unbelievable. But do you guys see what's happening over here? Off the western coast of Africa? You know, our hurricane season, first half of our hurricane season, 90% of our systems begin with tropical waves off the coast of Africa. You have Saharan dust that blows off the coast here, okay, and moisture is able to attach itself to this sand, dust, and it's able to lift up into the atmosphere much easier. It floats up with it. It's a weird phenomenon, but that's why you see these big tropical waves coming off the coast here as this water warms up and we get into hurricanes. As this water warms up and you get that buoyancy from the humidity and the moisture above the water, it pulls that Saharan sand, Saharan dust up with moisture. A lot of moisture attached to it. You get big tropical waves in the first half of hurricane season. Everything's coming off of here, but that is very below average, which makes me think we're going to have a slow start to hurricane season, but we'll see. This is very warm. This is usually our second half of hurricane season, though. Big thing that's going to decide hurricane season again, though, we're going to be Enzo neutral, La Nina, which is really good for a significant hurricane season. But where is our Bermuda high? Is it over here steering everything away, or is it over here steering everything into us? So we got to look at that too. We're not. Oh my gosh, look at that! It looks like a super El Nino. Looks like a super La Nina right now. Sorry, super El Nino, super La Nina. Wow. All right. This would be El Nino, guys. I'm losing my mind. El Nino is warmer eastern equatorial Pacific waters. La Nina is colder. El Nino, this would be a lot more thunderstorm activity, and this would be a lot more shear across the Caribbean. Very interesting map from Tropical Tidbits. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on. Very interesting map. Very interesting. We're going to have to start looking at that a lot more with hurricane season coming up. What's going on, Fade? Fade, did you see my message on the tube? Did you see that? Send me an invite in Discord, or send me a friend request in Discord. I can add you in there. What's going on, Blonde? Thanks, Eden. Why is the Gulf so warm? What's causing it? Well, oceans have been a little bit warmer lately. You know, it's they've been trending warmer. The Earth is not cooling. The Earth is warming. We're still technically in what we call interglacial period. So, not to get into too much talk that's going to get everyone angry and political, but the Earth is supposed to be warming. The Earth would be warming whether humans are on it or not. The whole question of global warming and all that stuff is, are we speeding up the warming? But that's the question, because the Earth is supposed to be warming. The Earth would be warming if there were no animals at all, including humans, on it. It warms, polar ice caps melt, oceans freeze over, we go into an ice age, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. So the Earth's warming, but you know, at a very slow pace. The waters are a little warmer than normal, but when you look at the big, how much they've heated up over the last 100, 200 years, it's like a degree or two. It's a pretty, not that major, but they're warming. As the globe warms as a whole, the oceans will go with it. There's a lagging effect with the oceans. Air heats quicker than water does. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Oh, you're right. Duh. I literally, Fade, I don't know what's going on tonight. Yali, what's going on? Fade, I literally sent you the invite like 2 seconds ago. I forgot that happened. Nashville's okay for the night. It's looking like Nashville's okay. Got some severe thunderstorms down to your southwest. There's a lime size, hail. Let me look at this before I say Nashville's okay. 1 second. I'm looking at the radar. I'll show you guys this really quickly so you know what's going on. Let's take a look at this one here. Let's look at the velocity. There's a little rotation here, but again, this doesn't look too dangerous. It's not warned. It's heading towards Nashville. I would say pay attention to it. These storms are really losing steam. This would probably be your last concern, because the rest of these storms are really losing steam. So I would say we want to pay attention to this one heading towards Nashville. But right now, yeah, like I said, there's rotation, not a very strong rotation. There's definitely hail, though. Look at that hail, lime size hail. That's a good looking hail hail signature. So, but I can see why it's not tornado warned right now. But the tornado threat today is pretty low at this point. We can actually go. Let's go to our tornado threat right now. Look at it. So they still got Nashville in this 5%. I think they're going to change this shortly, though. I think this is going to go down to a 2% up north. But it's pretty low. I think this is going to drop down to just a 2%. 2%er. Okay. I'm going to go back here. What about Northwest Arkansas? Northwest Arkansas is definitely tomorrow's problem, and it is a significant problem tomorrow. Yeah, you guys, here's our tornado threat tomorrow, and I think there's a thought that we could get this going high, which means another 5 out of 5 risk, which would be crazy to get 3 already on the season. So we'll see. Is anything coming back to Lowville? Not very likely. Some rainfall. You guys got to worry about flooding. Not much of a tornado threat for you guys anymore. Tonight or into tomorrow. Maybe, I mean, there's a little bit. There's a little bit tomorrow. We can go look at our categorical. You guys have a marginal, but it's not really for tornadoes. It's for just severe thunderstorms. This is a big concern tomorrow right here. How about is Houston, Texas going to be on Saturday? Well, this is your Saturday outlook. You've got a slight down there, probabilistic. You guys are really close to that 15% hatch for severe weather. So I'd say watch closely. Right now it's keeping the worst to your northeast, but these boxes change all the time. So tomorrow we will get our tornado, hail, and wind outlook from the SPC for this watch. So for this risk zone, and that'll tell us a lot. Louisville this weekend, yeah. I mean, Louisville's seeing the worst that it's going to see. You guys got a 15% risk here on day 3. You've got your marginal risk for hail and wind. You've got, 2%. Not a terrible threat. I mean, this is a 5% wind and a 5% hail. You could get some bad weather. Your tornado chances are pretty low for the rest of the weekend. Not that you guys couldn't get one, but they're pretty low for the rest of the weekend. Nashville, obviously, I think this is going to go 5% tonight. You guys are still on, or sorry, I think this is going to go 2%. You're still under a 5%. We're watching a storm out to your southwest. We need to make sure that thing dissipates. But after that, I think you guys are looking good. As we get to tomorrow, Nashville, you're in a general thunderstorm warning. And then you get into a slight day 3. So this is going to be Saturday into Sunday. We'll have to see what happens here. We'll have to see what happens. This thing could expand over Nashville on Saturday. And then Sunday, you guys are looking pretty in the clear. Maybe you get in a marginal there. One second, guys. Fort Worth, I mean, you've got a slight tomorrow, but that slight is not really for tornadoes. Let's look at our 4-panel here. Your slight, you got a 2% in Dallas for tornadoes, but you do have let's go down here to our hail outlook. So we've got a 15% hatched into parts of the DFW, down here to the southwest and then out to the east. That's going to be interesting to see what happens hail-wise around DFW. And then you've got a 15% wind as well. So wind and hail, you don't have much of a tornado threat tomorrow. And then in your probabilistic, you're down to 5% Saturday. So, and then you're out of it. So Dallas, Fort Worth could get some severe weather. It's not looking super destructive by any means, and your tornado threat is looking pretty low. Yeah. Calm-ish. Does southwell winds transport warm water from the Caribbean and that warms the Gulf? Well, yeah, I mean, you can see there's a current right here that comes up and goes through the Florida Strait from the Caribbean. You can see it easily, always. Let's look. Waves. Okay, what is this? Get out of my... What is this thing up here? Okay. Waves. Let's go. And really quickly... Currents. You see that bad boy? See that Gulf Stream? Bringing all... You guys want to know why they're even though they're so high latitude up here, why they're not always 10 degrees, even though they're so high latitude, is because the Gulf Stream just ejects out warm water. So they have mild water, more mild winters. I mean, it gets cold up there, but that helps. Same thing happens in Eastern Asia. See? equator, and then boom, same thing. Where does it push that warm water? Out here. Why does Washington and Oregon have way more mild winters than Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire up here that tend to get a lot more snow? I mean, other than their elevation out here in the west, but low elevation is mild for the still pretty mild winter wise. It's because all that warm water is getting cycled up from the equator. Same thing happens over here, and but a lot of that warm water gets stuck in the United States. We're geographically the most effed when it comes to severe weather. A lot of this equatorial water gets stuck in here in the Caribbean and in the Gulf, and it can't go anywhere. And this current helps bring it back out, but that's why these, especially the Gulf, is one of the warmest bodies of water on planet Earth. And we happen to have one of the largest land masses in the northern hemisphere because of the geography. The Arctic is way colder, not way colder, but significantly colder than Antarctica. So coldest air mass in the world, meaning one of the warmest bodies of water in the world. That is why 80 to 90% of all significant tornadoes on planet Earth happen here. I think it's 80% of all tornadoes on planet Earth happen here. And then it's like 90-something% of all significant, meaning EF2 plus tornadoes happen here. The U.S. experiences more severe weather in 1 month than the rest of the world does combined in the rest of the 11 months because of our geography. And it's great for someone like me who loves weather, and because I'd be bored out of my mind if I lived in Europe. They get severe weather like 3 times a year. I would literally just, I'd be bored out of my mind. Some of you were like, get me out of here. Owensboro, Kentucky. You don't have a crazy, there's still a slight tornado risk for you guys over the next couple days. By slight, I don't actually mean that yellow, but severe thunderstorm warnings. Everyone's still looking good. We have no tornado warnings down right now. That's good. Owensboro, you need to pay attention to what's going on flooding wise. You guys are expected to get like another 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 inches of rain in the next 36 hours, 48 hours. That's the big threat in Owensboro, the flooding. The tornado chances are pretty low. Not that you guys couldn't get a tornado in and around that area, but they're pretty low. Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio probably would like to see less weather. Yes, they probably would. Parkersburg, where's that? Parkersburg sounds like a city in Indiana. I don't know why. It just sounds like a city in Indiana. Is it Iowa? It just sounds like an Indiana city. Where were you talking about for Parkersburg? One second, guys. Still just severe thunderstorm warnings. Oh, you were talking about West Virginia? Okay. Bergs sound like Indiana. You guys are good. Just a bunch of rainfall up there. You don't have much of a severe threat up there in Parkersburg. Pensacola, Florida this weekend. Yeah, as we get into Sunday, things might look a little bit sketchy. We'll have to pay attention Sunday to you guys. Saturday night into Sunday as well. Really Saturday night into Sunday. Here's the 00ZHRRR. Not going far enough out. We can look at our NAM. 00Z is not going to do it. 18Z. So it looks like this severe threat wants to enter the panhandle pretty close to 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So we'll have to watch that time frame Sunday night. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Yeah, you guys did a tornado go through Jonesboro? Because there was about 15 tornado warnings in northeastern Arkansas, and I could have sworn they just all went right past Jonesboro. Jonesboro needs to watch out tomorrow. We'll go over that. Yeah, I was watching Jonesboro last night, and there was like a tornado so here's Jonesboro. There was like a tornado here, 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 here. They like parted Jonesboro like the Red Sea. That Lake City one. Where's Lake City? Lake City one was over here, right? That was a bad one. That was that tornado emergency. It's sad. Was the Lake City one Arkansas, guys? Or is that Missouri? All right, let me, yeah. No, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are good. You guys fear thunderstorm heading towards Nashville, but it's not tornado warned. I don't know if it will go tornado warned, but I'm watching it. It doesn't look like it right now, but I'm watching it. Yeah, Arkansas was Lake City, yeah. So Jonesboro. Let's get into our tornado threat for you guys tomorrow. It's weird saying luckily, but like luckily you're only in a 10% hatch risk. I don't know. This could go up to 15% in Jonesboro. Let's go back here and let me show you what I'm looking at. This could go up to 15% in Jonesboro tomorrow. What was that? Another severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, I mean, that severe thunderstorm warning is heading towards Nashville. It's still pretty far out, and it's not putting anything down yet. So, but tomorrow, timing-wise for you, let me tell you timing-wise really quickly for Jonesboro. Let's go to HRRR00Z. Let's go down to that section. I kind of want to look at the MPAS for you guys. And there you go. So the HRRR isn't even really interesting. Interesting. Let me look at the MPAS model. Does it want this discrete setup? This timing's super weird. Let's look at our SIGTOR parameters. There we go. So 5 p.m. Central. 5 p.m. Central. Let's go back to our HRRR. I want to give you the timing on this. Let's see. 3, 4, 5 p.m. Central. There we are. So we're watching. Yeah, there we are. So there's that where that SIGTOR threat really starts to enhance. Right around, I would say start watching right around here. This is 14Z. So this would be 787. Wow, this would be like 7. This would be like 7 Central. 7 to 8 a.m. Or sorry, 7 to 8 p.m. No, see, this is on Saturday, guys. So we have this threat for tomorrow. Yeah, because they're watching this time frame too. This looks to me like this goes into Saturday out in northwestern Arkansas. But you're gonna have the thing is your instability is gonna be down after this main event. It's interesting that the HRRR has this thing moving through Saturday, but we don't have it in the SPC risk zone. That's what I'm debating in my head. So yeah, so this first round here, we're thinking you could get some SIGTORs. This is as early as 2 p.m. Central tomorrow. That first round is late afternoon into the evening hours tomorrow. And then our HRRR wants to bring in a second round potentially, but this looks to be down to your southeast. But I still think Jonesboro might need to watch out for this. Getting morning into the afternoon Central as well on Saturday. But this is your more significant time here. So let's call that, sorry guys, let's call that like 1 Central. Although, I mean, for a long time through the night, because that band's holding this is holding in the same exact spot. We're gonna have nonstop rotation along this boundary. Really weird. They don't have that on the... If we go over to our day 3... Okay, they do. They do kind of have it. They do kind of have it there. They still have you in that hatch here. That's kind of... Jonesboro's in kind of a sketchy area because it's really like... You can see where this is the day before Friday. This is a really sketchy look for Jonesboro because you've got the day 3 here. You've got the day 2 here. So you've got 2 rounds here. Headed for Jonesboro. But if you get hit the first round, you're going to have less of likely of having bad severe weather this second round because your instability will drop. But eastern Arkansas, central, this region of Arkansas could see 2 days of potential SIGTOR action. And you guys literally just saw an outbreak of tornadoes. This could end up being like the worst 4 days for eastern Arkansas ever. Like in recorded history. Observed tornado-wise. Tornado touchdown-wise. Claudia, Melissa, what's going on? Sorry. I'm putting it all together now as I'm talking about it with you guys, which is why I do this every night. Because I look at these models and how everything updates during the day, but when I answer your guys' questions, it helps me as well. Tornado Alley has been shifting for like 100 years. Yeah. As the Gulf warms, you know, we used to have a lot of warm air coming off the Pacific. As this Gulf supercharges, we're getting this focus out here, yeah. But, you know, I would say right now we still see the strongest tornadoes in Tornado Alley. But we're seeing just outbreaks. We're seeing more outbreaks in Dixie. Yeehaw. Or whatever I say, y'all. I forget every time. Louisville, Kentucky, you guys are looking good other than you really need it. There's a concern with flash flooding in Louisville, Kentucky over the next few days. Anything coming for Iowa? You guys are good. I would really buckle down for this. You know what you guys need? You know what you guys need to prepare for up in Iowa? Everyone, pray for Iowa. Pray for Iowa. The southeastern corner is in a general thunderstorm warning. Everyone, update your social medias. # pray for Iowa. No, you guys are good up there. You guys are looking nice. How does Nashville look for the rest of the night? You guys have a severe thunderstorm headed towards you. And we're going to, since so many people keep asking, we're going to look at it again. If this thing passes you guys and doesn't put a tornado down, you can probably rest your head and not worry about any more severe weather tonight. Because the rest of these storms, I mean, this thing is losing its power. We've got ping pong ball. Ping pong. I always say that. Ping pong ball size hail. With this bad boy here. There's your hail core. Going right to the south of New Jacksonville towards Dixon. And let's look at our velocity. No crazy velocities on here. Well, this is a little concerning right there. I lie. But it's a little concerning here. I mean, there's rotation right there. So we'll watch it. But again, if this puts something down, the hail is here. Look at that. There's the hail. There's just not a lot of energy out here right now. So I'm not expecting a SIGTOR, EF2+. We could get an EF0, EF1 down with this thing, though. That could knock out some power and do some damage to roofs out there near Nashville if this thing holds. But again, the storm's staying strong, long track right now. Just doesn't seem very viable. So I'm still not too concerned with this headed towards Nashville. I'm just generally not with what's going on in the atmosphere around it. It's like this is like the little engine that could right now. It's like the only severe thunderstorm warning, and it's been trucking on for so long. But I mean, there's one up here, but it's not very impressive either. Yeah, it's trucking along, and I'm expecting it to fail. There's some okay velocities out here, headed out to the south of Mayfield, Kentucky. Again, nothing too impressive there. But we'll keep our eye on it. You know, why not? We'll keep our eye on it. Can I stretch? Can I stretch, chat? No stretching? Yeah, no, Kyle, it won't be as bad as yesterday. Tomorrow won't be as bad as yesterday. Simply because, well, there's a much smaller region that's going to be affected. We had, like, observed tornadoes from northern Indiana to, like, Texarkana yesterday. You know, our tornado risk tomorrow is through here. It's a much smaller region. But we could get, it's not an impossibility we could get a super strong tornado tomorrow, unfortunately. This is Radar Omega right here, but I'm usually back on Pivotal Weather when we're not looking at the live severe weather outbreak, which this is not really a severe weather outbreak right now. It's kind of more of a flooding issue. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me run and use the restroom real quick. So Oklahoma City going to have any tornadoes soon. You know, none of this is looking too bad for Oklahoma City. You've got marginal categorical. You guys look like you're dodging a lot of this, OKC. You look like you are dodging a lot of this. Give me 1 second, guys. Chat, I'm back. Chat, I'm back. Let's put these on. Thank you to anyone who's followed. I didn't realize I got 50 followers during this. Claudia, what's going on? This legit tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, you know what? Do you guys want to look at some soundings for tomorrow and see how bad this could actually be, or how not bad? Maybe not bad. Let's think glass half full. Do you guys want to dive in? Let's do it real quick. Hey, Claudia. I've been good. Hopefully my voice is soothing. I don't think it is. Not when I'm yelling about destructive tornadoes. All right, guys, let's take some soundings from tomorrow real quick and see what we could see here. All right, so... Okay. I mean, we could cheat and just go straight to our SIGTOR param. Why not? Okay, now this is... We're talking Little Rock territory here. Little Rock territory. And what are we looking at? Pretty nice. I mean, actually, it's not the best looking photograph. That's a good sign. 8.0 effective layer SIGTOR param. This is very, very high. And SIGTOR param fixed layer 4.3. You've got a very good supercell composite. Here's where things get interesting. Rotation at the surface is going to be our storm relative helicity. Anything over 200 is good enough. This is at 405. Surface level shear, anything over 20, 25 is good enough. We have 40, almost 40 knot shear to surface. More than sufficient. Your inhibition is inexistent, meaning a cap on your atmosphere not allowing these storms to develop is likely not going to happen. And 1500 surface cape is fine. 1000 plus is fine at the surface. But you've got even higher forecast cape, 3300 potential, which is really good. This is probably the most disturbing part of this sounding right here. But we already knew this. PDS tour possible. Particularly dangerous situation. EF2, EF3 or above. So that's a concerning sounding right there. If we were to go look in here towards Texarkana, oof, I don't even want to click on this. Yali, cover your eyes. This is an almost maxed out SIG tour here. 10.0 effective layer. 7.4 fixed. 386 SRH, 42 knot surface shear. Tons of surface shear. Tons of surface shear in the lower levels of the atmosphere. So remember, your 0 to 1 kilometer surface shear, you can actually cheat and look on the side over here. That's right about up to your 850 millibar level. That is where your lower level jet is. So that's where a lot of those thunderstorm clouds base. The base of the clouds come down to, or where those clouds are sitting when they're moving over you. And there's a lot of shear there. You can see we almost have easterly moving into southwesterly at the mid-level of the atmosphere here. Look at these. I need to look at the low-level jet here. It's probably pumping through. This is also a big concern here. Almost 3,000 surface cape with 4,000 joules per kilogram forecasted cape. PDS tour possible. This is an even more significant looking sounding around Texarkana tomorrow. Ay. Yeah, you got a basement or something? Shelter? Storm shelter? What's the timing? What's the timing for Texarkana tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Should be required in this area of the country, I swear. Okay. Things, at least on the late stage triple R, start to look sketchy right around. So this would be 9 Eastern. So take 7 hours off of that. So 2 p.m. Central. 2 p.m. Central. Could be 1 p.m. Give or take an hour. And then you could have a second round here. And this right here is, so that's 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Take away 7 hours. What is that, 7 a.m.? Unless I did my math wrong, Saturday. Again, 2 different events, just like Jonesboro. Just like Jonesboro, unfortunately. This looks like a Friday, Saturday issue, but I think the Friday thing's going to be worse. This is a really dangerous-looking discrete setup. Anyone who follows me knows I always talk about this discrete popcorn setup. This right here is so dangerous because every single one of these cells has the cloud to itself, and it's not sharing energy with other storms, with other possibly tornadic storms. So it's going to get a beautiful inflow, a good rear flanking downdraft. It's going to be able to form those mesocyclones that help spin the atmosphere above it so it can keep it spinning on the surface. Popcorn, discrete setups like this are way more dangerous than a squall line like this. Yeah, although this could be dangerous. This is discrete as well. It's all discrete, really, down there to the southeast of the main QLCS. So, what was that I just had warning go off? Storm's weakening as it moves towards, well, it's golf ball size hail moving towards Nashville still, but it's still far out. Still far out. No tornado warnings down right now. Yeah, so anyways. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get on live during this first event. Well, maybe. It depends when it moves through. I've got to work tomorrow. Hopefully I can be on by 3. We'll have to see. Central Arkansas, again, Central Arkansas, you could be in a high risk tomorrow. This discrete setup starting as early as maybe even 2 to 4 Central time, and then it's going to drag on for a while for you guys into Saturday morning. Yeah. This is that day 2. This is that day 2 threat we're watching, guys. The problem is for places like Eastern Texas and Central to Southern and Eastern Arkansas is as we get into day 3, a lot of you guys that are dealing with day 2, you're still in this hatch. It's like you have the possibility of getting a second round. So, one last thing I wanted to look at before I get more questions. I wanted to take a look at the LLJ. So, low level jet I think is going to be cranking through down here. Let's take a look at it. 850 millibar. Remember, we're at 1,000 on the surface. The tropopause, the top of where all the weather happens, is typically right around 100 millibars pressure. Let's look at what happens. I am expecting to see an explosion of yellow here tomorrow. Explosion of yellow here down. Let's see. It actually on the HRRR doesn't get that strong. It gets good. Let's look at the mid-level jet. That's encouraging that maybe we won't go high. Low-level jet's not as intense as you're getting a little bit of that down there in Texas, but it's not the worst. We're getting, still 55 knots. If you had that yellow coloration, you could be up to 65, even sometimes 70 knots. 55 knots up through potential 50 to 55. Texarkana up towards Little Rock, and then this second round here, and then it does intensify up towards Jonesboro. There it is, 65 knots. But then we get the second round here, and this actually looks a little bit more potentially. This looks pretty good too. You get 60, almost 65 knots pushing up towards that Texarkana and the border of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas here as well. These are your lower level winds that help with these mesocyclones. So more than sufficient, unfortunately, but it's good. It's good that we're not seeing 90, 100 mile per hour winds at the surface or right above the surface. It's the only good thing I've seen so far. I grew up on hurricanes. I'd rather hurricanes than a tornado any day. I agree. Because hurricanes will damage tons of stuff. It's very rare you get the winds that flatten these, houses. They're more of widespread damage. Tornadoes are just absolute, 300. You can get 300 mile per hour winds at the surface with the tornado. You're not going to get that at the surface with a hurricane. Yeah. Let me see here. This might be a stupid question, but why do some areas see more tornadoes than others, or it does just depend? Let's see, Blue Fire. Because where moisture from the Gulf and cold air from the north. Yeah. Things move easterly up here in the northern hemisphere, and you get cold air, at least in the general east direction. You get cold air diving down, and you get warm air moving up, and that's how they interact. This all has to do with the Coriolis effect, which, by the way, can only happen on a spinning ball. If the Earth was flat, there'd be no weather. There would be nothing that would be moving these air currents into each other. The weather would cease to exist. It would just be sunny every day. There'd be no clouds in the sky. True. If we were not spinning on a ball, there would be no Coriolis effect. There would be no collision of air boundaries. I don't know how flat earthers explain weather. I actually don't know. I know they do. They have a way to explain everything. Weather's extremely hard to explain on a flat surface, because the reason our air moves like this is because of the rotation of a globe. I'm gonna look up a YouTube video of that later, because listen, there's one thing about flat earthers is they actually have a lot of great reasoning. Like, they've found ways to explain things where you almost want to go, okay, that makes sense. Like, they've really, really done a good job of that. They've thought of everything. Anytime you question anything, they actually usually have some answer that makes you double think for a second. But I don't know how they answer weather. We'll see. I'll look it up. Okay, let me answer more questions. Severe thunderstorm warning. Nothing going on. That was not a major warning. Don't worry about that. Will Nashville get more tornadoes tonight? There's a severe thunderstorm warning heading towards you. It doesn't look like it's going to drop anything. And I'm going to turn my alarm. Well, I'll keep my alarms on for a little bit more. I'm watching a radar in the background. Nashville looks pretty safe, but I'm watching one severe thunderstorm warning that's moving towards you right now. Again, it doesn't look that severe to me. I don't think it's going to drop anything. It's a lot of different watching in person rather than on a phone. I ought to try it sometime. Wait, what do you mean? Like on a computer? Do you think Louisville, Kentucky will get hit again? I think your biggest threat is flooding. I don't think you have too major of a threat for tornadoes throughout the rest of this weekend. Not impossible to see a tornado in and around the Louisville area, but there's a much bigger threat. Flooding is a much bigger threat to you guys for the rest of this weekend than a tornado is. Your tornado chances are a little bit farther down. I have a question about some lines. What some of the lines mean on the sounding. If you look at OKC around 5 a.m., what are the pink horizontal lines on the left side mean? Well, this sound, if I just click on a random sounding, it's not going to say anything. Around 5 a.m. What, tomorrow morning? Well, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning would be Central Time. Would be like this. So it'd be something in here. You talking about these? Tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m. What about Jackson, Tennessee? Jackson, Tennessee. Again, Tennessee. We'll have to see. Let me look. Here, give me a second. Let's go back to... Oops. Sorry, 1 second. Let's just go back to our SBC outlook really quickly here. Jackson, Tennessee is pretty far west, isn't it, down there? Western Tennessee. There's a little bit of concern tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow going into the evening, nighttime for Jackson, Tennessee. Western Tennessee is going to want to have weather alerts on. We can go look at the timing there again. 1 second. One second. Let's go. I want to look at the HRRR for Jackson, Tennessee. One second. There we go. We'll push down into here, see if we can get timing for you guys. Oops, we do not want to look at the 01Z. You know, this worries me a little bit, this timing right here. As we get into, you guys would be, I guess, Central Time. So this would be about 1 p.m. on Friday. Yeah, really 1 p.m. on Friday all the way until Saturday morning. And then you guys have another threat here as we get into Saturday afternoon as well. I mean, this looks like a Friday afternoon to Saturday afternoon threat because you have 2 waves of this stuff. You can kind of see how the SBC is laying that out too. The SBC is kind of laying that out for you as well. No need to be scared. Indiana's not looking too bad either. Indiana's not looking too bad either. Ohio. I'd worry about a flooding risk in southwestern Ohio. Heavy downpours here in central Ohio. What's the radar showing? Yeah, that's going to continue for a while. Now, the biggest flood threat should be down in southwestern Ohio. Central Ohio isn't as big of a flood threat, but it's still pretty significant. We can go take a look at the Euro here. Still a pretty here's our total quantitative precipitation. So southwestern Ohio, though, it looks pretty high up there. Look at the border of Kentucky with Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee. Look at this. And then through Arkansas, Jonesboro. Crazy flooding potential. Will Austin, Texas get any thunderstorms? Probably. Tomorrow into Saturday. One second, I'm texting my brother. Sure. Wait. MICU Tech, what did you ask? Driving from Michigan to Fort Walton, Florida, starting tomorrow morning, stopping around Nashville for sleep. You know, it's going to be sketchy out here on Sunday. If you can make it before Sunday, so you're going to start Friday, Saturday. You're probably want to get into Florida I would say, at least early Sunday. It looks like the worst is going to be moving in Sunday afternoon to Sunday evening. Tornado risk for Southern Illinois? Not much. Not much of a tornado risk for Southern Illinois for the rest of this weekend. Most of it's going to be to the south. Come on, sounding work for me. Leanne, you notice a difference when I'm out here away from the storms? What a sounding looks like, and then when I'm in here near to the storms, what happens? Let's see. Any risk for West Ohio flooding? Flooding risks for the rest of the weekend. Is Tornado Alley moving or is it just growing? What if I told you it's moving and growing? Okay, that came out wrong. It's doing both. Yeah. These are weird, but this has to do with your pressure gradient. So when you see these bulging out of here, there's going to be a steeper pressure gradient, higher winds, potentially a stronger low pressure. We have like a big high pressure down here in the southeast. Let's get a sounding from down here. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But where's our low pressure? Where's our main low pressure? Let's see if we can find the spin. It's right there. A little farther out to the east. There it starts to come in. This is surface low. Let me actually go to. Any risk for West Michigan? Not much. No, not much. Clarksville, Tennessee. Are you guys? I should know Clarksville, Tennessee, because I talk about it all the time now. You guys are up there in North Central. I'm not too concerned with Clarksville, Tennessee, other than from the flooding perspective. Salmon. Mud, I appreciate you guys. Kelly, Cody, Angel. Thank you, Angel. Kelly and Angel. I appreciate you guys. Central Illinois, Champaign. Yeah, I mean, guys, you're not even looking at the radar I'm looking at right now. I'm just checking to see what's going on with this thunderstorm that's heading towards Nashville. Still looking like a big nothing burger, if I'm being honest to you guys. If I'm being honest with you guys. Ping pong size hail. Let me take one more quick look so I make sure everyone's safe here. Nothing really. There's a little bit of hook to it that makes me nervous, but it's still not showing anything crazy on the radar. It looks like a potential funnel cloud, but they just let the severe thunderstorm warning fall off. Yeah, it just was looking like something weak. They literally just let the severe thunderstorm warning fall off. There's a little bit of rotation. It doesn't look like anything's going to touch the surface, though. Any risk for Paris, Illinois? Guys, here is what is going on. Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana, Southwestern Ohio, we've got some flood risks. When it comes to our severe weather risks, what's going on tomorrow? You've got a marginal and a slight up there in Southern Illinois and Southern Indiana. Could see some severe thunderstorms, not expected to be anything major. Not expected to be anything major. As well on Saturday, I would keep my weather alerts on both days. I would keep slightly up to date both days, definitely. But there's the stuff we've seen over the last 5 days has been way worse than this. It could be a big dud up there. Yeah, Leanne, you can kind of tell what's going on with your LLJ based off of looking at this. Well, we can just look at our SIGTOR param and then I'll show you. So our winds between here and there's not much going on in this one with our lower level jet. But our mid-level jet is looking okay. So you can see our velocity of winds down here. Not doing much. Which is interesting. Interesting to me. I have a feeling that's going to uptrend a little bit. Let's go to our 850 again around that time. Yeah, there's a brief moment where there's a brief moment in here where some of these soundings are picking up like no wind at the 850 millibar level. I think that's actually a model issue. I think that's kind of a model issue. Error. Gainesville, Texas for tomorrow. Let's see. Gainesville, Texas. Gainesville, Texas. You guys are up there just to the north of the DFW. Here, let's go into our categorical tomorrow for day 2. You guys are in that slight tornado-wise, almost an non-existent threat. There's the HRRR showing the potential for tornadoes up there near Gainesville. I would pay attention to your weather alerts. The SPC and CSU don't seem too concerned with it, so that's a good thing. Let's look at the CSU. The CSU has you in a little bit of a tornado watch. See, even though the SPC doesn't, so I'd still pay attention to it. You are in a little bit of a hail threat, a little bit of a wind threat as well. Nothing looks too destructive-wise, but that's something to keep up to date on tomorrow. CSU does have you in a little bit of a tornado threat. Jen B, what's going on? Brandon, I appreciate you. Hey, Sean. Jordan. Yeah, I don't know why some of these soundings. Let's get a good sounding in here. Well, let me see if this is like, let me take a sounding down here. Yeah, this one has some pretty decent wins down. You can't tell because they're all stacked on each other, which is really annoying. But with the lower level jet. God, I hate when they're all stacked on each other like that. Trying to give an example here. These are okay wins down at the surface. Seen much higher though. Let's see. So high risk upgrade may happen. It's possible still. Yeah. I would say it's more conditional. Yesterday was not conditional. We thought we were going to have a tornado outbreak. We just didn't know how big of one. Tomorrow is conditional. Tomorrow could be a huge flop. But if it's not, I don't think tomorrow could be a huge flop. It's either going to be decent or it's going to be good. And I say that because there doesn't look to be much capping problem tomorrow. There doesn't look to be much of a threat of a cap on the atmosphere. All of these soundings we've looked at, there's not much inhibition here, guys. Meaning there's not much of a, there's no inhibition. 3,500 surface cape, there's zero cap on the atmosphere. You know, a cap in the morning can be what we call a loaded gun setup, where it snaps and it breaks, and then you get like EF force spread across the map. We don't want it. Sometimes it's better to not have a cap, if I'm being honest. You can get the craziest tornadoes out of a capped severe setup. Colton, I appreciate you. NTX, I appreciate you. When you say it, it happens. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a dud tomorrow. It's going to be decent or it's going to be good. I don't think we're going to see like a super under. There's no capping, so you're going to see spin. You're going to see rotation in these cells. It'd be hard to not see any decent tornadoes we put down. I appreciate that, Kalyana. Thank you. What's going on, gaming? Oh my gosh. Teeter, any tornadoes for tomorrow in Arkansas? Chat, do you want to answer for me? Answer Teeterman for me. He asks, is there any chance for tornadoes in Arkansas tomorrow? Chat, can you answer? Over on TikTok. I think he just dropped in. Yeah, Teeter. Yes, tomorrow we could even get a high upgrade tomorrow in Arkansas, meaning we could see kind of an outbreak of SIG tours tomorrow. Yes. Yeah. Here's the latest from the SBC. Tornado wise down here. Let me zoom in. There you go. This region. We'll see if it goes high. Your lights flickered, Lauren? Maybe you just need a new light bulb. Or is it the tornado outside? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We've got no severe thunderstorm warnings, guys. Just a ton of flash flood warnings. Told you this setup was starting to, fade out here tonight. Could Saturday go moderate? That's a good question, isn't it? When we have a day 3 enhanced, there's always a chance of it going moderate. Let's take a look if we think it's gonna go moderate on day 3. Let's look at all of our params. Lower level jet we already looked at. It's alright. It's alright. It's good enough. We can go moderate with that. What's our dew points doing? Our dew points are crazy, so I'm not worried about our dew points. Our dew points are there for a moderate. What is going on with our surface shear? It's not the most... Here, look at our surface shear tomorrow here. Look at that. That's a big worry. Not crazy surface shear on Saturday. Sin. It doesn't look like we're going to have a cap on Saturday either. Doesn't look like we're going to have a cap on Saturday either. So our Sig Tor params look at a lot of this stuff. Looks okay. Again, though, surface-based cape. It's not much. There's enough, not much. I don't know. That might stay enhanced. I think there's a chance. There's always a chance it goes moderate on day 3, but I think it could. I think it might stay enhanced. We can take a look at our reflectivity again. This is always an easy way. I think that might stay enhanced. If I had to bet, but I could lose the bet. But if I had to bet, I would take the under. Which is risky because day 3 enhanced go moderate all the time. I still would take the under. Don't yell at me if I'm wrong about that, guys, but I would still take the under. Got to make a decision. Arkansas is getting... Nope, that's tomorrow, Gavin. No betting. I did just delete DraftKings off my phone a couple days ago. I won a bunch of money over like a couple weeks, and I was getting super lucky, and it was making me gamble more and more and more. I was gambling like all day, like at work, at the gym. Sometimes I was gambling while I was on live with you guys, like if you saw me looking down at my phone. And I was on such a winning streak, and I was like, I know that I'm going to end up losing all this. So I just cashed out, and I deleted the app off my phone. And I haven't bet in a few days, and I'm really, really getting the itch, guys. No, I can't. I'm not re-downloading that shit. That ish. Even though I was on a winning streak, overall, I'm down. You know what I mean? No need for it. No, I'm not down by a lot. Very low. I've done pretty well with betting to where I haven't really lost much money betting, but I'd like to keep it that way. I would like to keep it that way. So, yeah. And I have another kid that's about to be born like any week now. So maybe I shouldn't be gambling with money. Definitely not. Can Long Island get some severe weather anytime soon? I'm trying, man. I've been calling NOAA. I've been calling all the, weather modification people, trying to get you some severe weather out there in Long Island. Oops. Yeah, Arkansas's had a bad couple years, huh? Yeah, I can use it for baby stuff. I limit myself to DraftKings only to football season because of that reason. Yeah. I was making all of my money off of, are you guys ready? Women's basketball. Not even U.S., like international women's basketball. I would always bet the spread on each half. I would only bet the spreads on halves in international women's basketball. I started to notice that I would win like 9 out of 10 times. I bet the spread on a half in women's international basketball. And so I just kept doing it. And then I would take my house money and then I'd play blackjack in DraftKings. And I'd either lose the house money, but still not go negative, or I'd like triple. And I did that for like 2 weeks straight. And I was literally winning like $100 a day, just 1 or 2 bets a day. I was just 100. And I was like, nah, there's no way this keeps going on. I've been here before where I've been on big winning streaks and then I get aggressive and lose it all. But yeah, I'm big international women's basketball fan now. Can't tell you any of their names, but love the sport. Caitlin Clark over every game, true. I see your stream for first time and hear Northwest Arkansas tomorrow. Yeah. Here is what we're concerned with tomorrow. Big concern right through here. Northwestern Arkansas. Still thinking this could go high. The only thing that doesn't look super impressive to me, like I said, is our lower level jet. Gavin, you're not cooked. You're going to be good. You're going to be good. Cook County, Texas. Where's Cook County, Texas? Cook County, Texas. Cook County, Texas. Where you guys at? Wow. What's your closest airport? Like 1,000 miles away? That's a cute little town out here. Hold up. Hold up. That's a nice football. That's a nice football field. I like this town. You know, closest airport's gotta be like 8 hours. Gotta be like 8 hours, right? I'm only half exaggerating. Okay, let me look at what the closest major airport to you is. 1 second. 220 miles? Over 200 miles. Yeah, no severe weather going on right now, guys. Flash flood warnings. Over 200 miles. No, you guys don't look too bad. There are some storms that want to spawn up there. Oh, it's the Odessa. Odessa. That's not a major airport, right? I guess there's Abilene. It looks like a decent sized airport there, international airport. You guys are looking pretty solid out there. What's going on, Lee? What's going on, Lee? Yeah. Taking a look at our day 2. You guys are in a little slight out there, but when it comes to tornado threat, very low. You guys got a hatched slight threat of hail, though. Could see some grapefruit hail falling from the sky. I had to have weather alerts on for hail tomorrow. Slight wind threat as well, although that still looks to be a little bit out to your east. I will say, and then you're in a general thunder for the rest of the week. Or the rest of the weekend. I will say, the HRRR is doing some silly things out here tomorrow. There's a super conditional setup for SIG tours here, and the SBC isn't showing it. I would actually be like hyper aware weather alert tomorrow where you are out there. I would be, because there is the HRRR is playing with us out there. I don't know if you guys saw it earlier, but even though we don't have the SBC calling it out, what is this outbreak of SIG tours on the HRRR? You know, look at that. That's an outbreak of SIG tours. We have pretty much no tornado risk zone out here. And I think, as I spoke about, there's like no surface cape. There's very low dew points out here. So I don't know what the HRRR is thinking with this. And I think that's why the SPC isn't calling it. But I'd still, just because of the reflectivity, I'd be paying attention. You never know. Maybe the HRRR is somehow seeing something we're missing. Maybe that happens. In Grove City, is there a tornado? DFW tonight? No. Tomorrow morning? Yes. You might want to pay attention tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. I would pay attention through the day tomorrow. There's going to be on and off thunderstorms. Look at this. There's going to be on and off thunderstorms for the next, maybe, as we get into tomorrow, throughout the whole day. So look. Some discrete cell action moving through your area pretty early in the morning. 4, 5, 6 a.m. in Dallas. Then you get some stuff off to your east as we get farther into the day, into the afternoon hours. And then you get this, which is probably not going to be super severe, but you could get some big hail and strong winds into Dallas, Fort Worth. And this is early Saturday morning, very early in the morning, Saturday morning, very late Friday night. So it's really just on and off. No tornadoes in Indiana. Not much of a tornado threat either for the rest of the weekend. Small tornado threat. Southern Illinois. Southern Indiana. If we were to push back here. Southern Illinois, southwestern Indiana. Small tornado threat tomorrow. 2%. Barely even touching Indiana. And then we'll have to see what happens here. But this could be also a very small tornado threat on Saturday as well. What's going on, Pam? Pam, did you join my Discord? Hey, anyone who's a sub, or member over there on YouTube. Actually, I gotta fix that. I'm gonna lower that on YouTube down to 3. If you didn't join my Discord, you need to send me a message so I can add you. If you're a sub or member. Finally found you live, and no, just found out about it. You don't have a Discord? It's pretty cool, Pam. I'm putting, it's gonna be live, updated live. It's gonna have live radars and updated information on everything, every day, so that there's information there all when I'm at work all day, and there's what we call there's AI bots in there that are constantly updating information that I'm asking it to update so it can work for me while I'm not online. So I gotta fill the gap, okay, when I'm not live streaming or making videos. Until I can do this full time, where I can actually be on here 24/7, and then I'll let the AI bots run free. I'll set them free because I don't mind doing it myself. Yeah, I see. In my world, okay, most people stop working on Fridays at around 2 to 3 o'clock, which is kind of what we're watching out there for Texarkana. Starting potentially as early, starting potentially as early as 1 p.m. Central. I'm going to try and be on for this. I'm going to try and be on while this is happening. What I will be doing, Yali, is I will be posting in the Discord live as it's going on. Like, I'll be commenting. I'll actually probably be in the Discord. I can be doing I might not be live streaming, but I actually might be like live in the Discord talking and commenting. So, but it's not a good look when you're supposed to be working, right? And you're live streaming. So just check out for updates in the Discord. I got some stuff I got to get done tomorrow. We had a tornado last night in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Midwest. Or Midwest. Wildest thing I ever witnessed. Yeah, I was covering that, Jenna. Jenna, you're a sub. Get in the Discord. Yeah, I was covering it. I was covering it for a while. I was covering that storm probably about an hour before it went through Cape Girardeau, and I kept saying, this thing looks like it's going straight for it. Am I saying that name wrong before I continue? Girardeau? Yeah, Pam, Discord. And when you create a Discord and you get your name, if you don't know how to join it, you should be able to join it through TikTok, and you go into like your sub permissions, but you can also tell me what your Discord name is if and when you make it, and I'll send you an invite. Girardeau. Yeah, so we were watching that, and I kept saying, this looks like it's going right towards it. It's looked like it's going right towards it, and then it held that path for a very long time. I was concerned. I wasn't sure kind of how that ended up. It looked pretty decent, though. Wait, you need to stay on me about what? What's my Discord? Well, I don't know. Like, I can't. If I say it out loud, the actual, it's not my. Well, it's kind of my name. It's Connor. It's Connor's Climate Corner. But listen. It's. I don't want to get flooded with invites. You know what I mean? Jenna, if you're a sub, you should be able to automatically connect to it through Discord. Through Discord, through TikTok. If you're a sub on TikTok, you should be able to go and you should be able to see like your perks or whatever, and you should be able to connect to my Discord and become a member in my Discord. Pam, I appreciate you. Thank you, Pam. Star Map Polaris, I appreciate you, Pam. Thank you, Lee. Was an EF1, but looked massive because it was rain wrapped. Yeah. I mean, listen, EF1s, you're still talking winds upwards of 200 miles per hour. You know, they can get up there. So they could still be do some pretty significant damage. Oh, weather-related stickers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I know. I set up an entire freaking Discord, and figured out how to multi-stream, and I still can't figure out the stickers on TikTok. I know. We'll do that. We'll do that this weekend. But Pam, I need you in here to remind me. Get in Discord so we can figure out how to do that in Discord. Because I had created stickers and done all this stuff, and then everyone was like, I still can't see them on TikTok. And I was like, I spent like an hour creating these things, and no one can see them. I don't know where I went wrong. I don't know where they're created on my screen. I don't know what I have to do to give you guys permission to use them. That's probably what it is. Is it a possibility for Louisiana having a tornado? Louisiana, northwestern Louisiana is in a tornado threat tomorrow, and then all of Louisiana has a tornado threat for Saturday. Yes, significant torque. EF2 pluses are possible. What is going on in Missouri? Someone said. Well, southeastern Missouri still has some things to watch out for over the next 2 days. Southeastern Missouri is still watching tornado threats over the next 2 days. So Friday and Saturday, pay attention. Tornado, wind, hail. It's like it doesn't want to give you guys a break just yet. Just really, really far southeastern Missouri down here. You have to do some research on that. See, you don't even know. Well, no one knows how to do this stuff. Look. Are these stickers? Hold up. Hold up, guys. Are these stickers? What are those? Maryland's good. Yeah, Maryland's good. You guys aren't expected to see much severe stuff over the next few days. Well, okay. Oh no, these are called I forget what those are called. I have stickers, guys, somewhere here. Let's see if I can find them. Give me a second. Oh, here we go. Oh no, they're gone. Oh, they're gone. All right, I'll figure it out. Pam said no. Those are gifts. Oh, okay. Don't it's I'm not that old. I'm not that old, I swear. It's me and figuring out TikTok, it's like I'm 70. Okay, I'll figure it out with you guys. Okay, sorry. Eric, I'll be getting on. Oh, wait, the gaming. What day would you think is most likely for severe weather in Western Long Island? There's not really any day that's coming up here that looks like you're going to get any sort of severe weather in Western Long Island. Maybe some thunderstorms over the next couple of days, but that's it. What about Meridian, Mississippi on Saturday? Where exactly is Meridian, Mississippi? Let's take a look. Let's not dox myself first. Meridian, Mississippi. Thank God there wasn't a pin down. I don't feel like me doxing myself would do much, though. I mean, I'm not that famous. I'm not famous at all. So I don't really care that much. All right, Meridian, Mississippi. Let's take this off. Okay, so it's Central Eastern. Central Eastern. Whoa. Whoa, Pam. Oh, my gosh. I appreciate you, Pam. I've never seen that one. Sherry, I appreciate you. Wait, Yali, did I miss another cowboy hat? Yeehaw. Sherry, thank you. Pam, thank you so much. Let's get in here. Let's get in here and talk about a little bit of Mississippi. You guys look pretty good. You guys look pretty good tomorrow. There's going to be an issue with you guys as we get into Saturday. If this expands especially. Tomorrow we'll get our tornado, hail, wind outlook from the SBC and CSU. We can take a look at the CSU right now on that day. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So, CSU is not feeling too dangerous for you guys, but there's going to be a transition, I think, Saturday in the evening as we push into Sunday, where we could get some dangerous storms in eastern Mississippi. And it's not looking like a SIG Tor breakout, but it could be pretty good. I do every time. It's not. It's not. I feel like it needs to make a sound in my ear, and it's not doing that. No problem, Lee. Yeah, let me look at the timing for you guys actually on that. Yeah, we're not even talking till late, probably late Saturday night. Let me take a look at the 00Z NAM. Yeah, we're talking super late Saturday night, maybe even into the early hours. I'm talking 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, Sunday, where we'll have a possibility for some tornadoes, hail, and decent wind out through that region. We'll see if they push over a moderate over there, or if you just stay in that slight. Southern Indiana Saturday. Yeah, I mean, you guys are in this 15% risk zone from the SPC, and then we've got a slight down there again. I think as we move into tomorrow, we'll basically see almost no tornado threat up there. This is going to have something to do with a little flooding and wind, probably more than anything. I don't even know if you'll have much of a hail. You could have some good cape up there. You could have a little bit of a hail threat up there. Feds, what's cracking? Yeah, if you guys are my subs and you haven't joined the Discord, if you can figure out how to do it in TikTok, let me know. Some people figured out how to do it. Nice. Dusty, I appreciate you. There we go. Oh, yeah, I got you. Here, give me a second. Let me do this. Let me fix this for you. Un momento. Por favor. Don't worry, guys. I knew it wasn't por favor. I'm just messing around. Oh, I love technology. Weird. That was weird. Okay. Southeast Oklahoma here. My ass is grass. Yeah, I haven't talked about that much, actually. This is an Oklahoma threat, too. This is an Oklahoma threat far southeast. We've really talked about Mississippi, Arkansas, and Yali's house. But there is a threat down here in southeastern Oklahoma as well. So I'm not sure... Oklahoma, Texas. What's it called again, guys? Arkalahoma Tex. What's that called again? Arclatech. Arclatex. Yeah. Arclatex. Yeah, and then we've got Kanzuri Lahoma. What did I say the other day? Any tornado threats for Dallas tomorrow or this weekend? There's a slight. You can see this 2%. I think this may expand a little bit. You guys may end up even in a 5% tomorrow. So we do have to watch that. But then your tornado chances. Here, let's go into our categorical the next day. You're almost in a general thunderstorm out here as we move into day 3. But we'll get a better update on that tomorrow. Yeah, Arclatex. I always forget that. Those are the funniest names. I figured out yesterday that there's an Arkansas. You popped your shoulder out of place at work earlier? Well, why'd you do that? Seems dumb to do that while you're working. Can you pull up some soundings? Yeah, we were looking at soundings earlier, dude. They're not looking so stellar. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how late it is. What are you guys doing? It's past my bedtime. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's. Why is it acting like that? This is actually even. This is an even newer. This is a. Oh no, sorry. I was trying to do the O2Z. Let's look at the O2Z run here. We'll do 00Z weather balloon data. This would be our best data. See, you got this pocket here that of instability that's blowing my mind, just to the north of Texarkana, where you've got super instability up there in the mid layers. Upward forcing is out of control. PDS Tor. PDS Tor threat. Effective layer SIG-Tor param 7.0. We saw a worse one than this earlier. We saw a worse one right over Texarkana. The sounding that we saw over Texarkana off the 00Z. Let's hope this changes, but was it this one here? Yeah, look at this. This is the one. 10.0 effective layer SIG-Tor param. Almost off the chart. 7.4 fixed. 3,000 joules per kilogram cape at the surface. Forecast 4,000. 42 knot shear. At the surface, directional shear is pretty decent. Velocity shear is okay. Storm relative helicity almost 400. That's rotation. That represents rotation at the surface. And no capping. No capping in sight at all. PDS Tor. So your effective inflow is very good as well. All very good. So do you have other channels if TikTok goes dark on the 5th? Yes, I do. Guys, if TikTok... I thought it was next week. Are you sure it's the 5th? If you guys want to go follow me over on YouTube, it's free to sub over there. So that's where I will be. Once again, every day. I make shorts over there. I mean, I do make... I haven't had time to do my longer, like, 10-minute videos. But I'm trying to do that once a week. And I end up doing it once every 2 weeks because those take longer. Shorts I can pump out. I'm trying to put out, updates every day. So that's why I've been sticking with shorts. But, yeah, I'm live. I'm live on YouTube right now as well. So they're extending the deadline again. Okay, I figured they would do that. I don't care, who likes Trump, who doesn't, but he doesn't want it to be banned. His daughter, his granddaughter, what's her face? She's like got like millions of followers on it, and she's like his favorite granddaughter, and she always makes TikToks with him and stuff, and I guarantee you she's in his ear like, Grandpa, do not let that thing get... If you see what she does on TikTok, I guarantee you she's like, do not let this get banned. Kai Trump. Yeah, she's got like 2 million followers on TikTok, and she's like best friends. That's like his number one granddaughter he spends the most time with, or grandchild. So I guarantee you. And he also always talks about it, how it like helped him win the election and stuff. If there's one person who doesn't want it to get banned right now, it's Trump. So that's one good thing we got going for us. I think he's going to keep extending it until there's a deal done. Yeah. Yeah. Fed's always looking out for me. He's like, go to bed, you got work. I know. See you gaming. Kyle, Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Yeah, Lisette. This is what's going on in Arkansas. Cindy, I appreciate you. Ooh, what's that? Hi, April. Cindy, I appreciate you. Here's what's going on in Arkansas. SIG-Tor potential. There's like a little bit potential, or really early in the day. I'm talking like 4 a.m. Central tomorrow. That doesn't look like the really significant hour that we're watching, though. This is the timing. And actually, the 00Z doesn't look too terrible. This is the timing. So as we get later into Friday afternoon and Friday evening, we can actually look at it on the Sigtor parameter right here. So moving into Friday afternoon and Friday evening, that's the worrisome hours out there. So it's not impossible to get some dangerous storms there. But then again, as we push in here, this would be around 1 in the afternoon through Arkansas. And what we're seeing is when you start to see a lot of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, broken up QLCS Sigtor, this is a concern. And you could have significant rotation all along this boundary. Again, like we had yesterday, where you see 10 tornado warnings up and down that boundary. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I don't see tomorrow being a dud, although it's not impossible. There's no cap. Not no cap. I mean, the cap on the atmosphere. I'm not saying no cap like I'm a 5-year-old or like a middle schooler. Sorry, I was trying to listen earlier when you were talking, but helping my daughter with homework. No problem, Cindy. Marshall and Texarkana for tomorrow and this weekend. Is Marshall close to Texarkana? Yali, is that your neighbor? Oh, these areas. How many people live in Texarkana? Like 86? 86 people? No, I'm kidding. You guys, that's actually like a pretty big city, actually. Yeah, so for you guys, again, the Sigtor parameters are pretty high. Not going to lie. I would say not much, but higher for Texarkana. Looking at this here, 2 p.m. Central could be a pretty dangerous time in and around that region. Again, you're very unlikely, even when you're in the path of these things, there's, it's hundreds of miles in here, and it's very hard to get hit directly by a tornado. So I always tell people not to freak out, just to be weather alert. It's actually very hard to get hit directly by a tornado. I would say buy a lottery ticket if you do. Because something's going on with your luck. Maybe that bad luck will turn to good luck. But yeah, that looks a little more worrisome. We do have discrete cells to the south though that could produce tornadoes as well near Marshall during the afternoon and into the evening hours. Here's another issue. Second round back here, coming right behind it, and this would be around 8 a.m. Central the next day, Saturday. That's more of a setup for Marshall. This could be more of a setup for Marshall too. So you're really watching Friday afternoon all the way through almost until Saturday evening. Yeah. Santi, what's up? You in the back. Santi, raising your hand. Yes. I saw you raise your hand. No problem, Cindy. Request? What? Hey, anyone who's in my Discord, I got to figure out what permissions you have. I'm still setting it up, but you should have permissions to... I'll go through and I'll fix all permissions. If you're in my Discord and you're not able to access or see certain things, this weekend, starting tomorrow, I'm going to make sure all your permissions are set. Let me make sure this isn't like a PDS tornado warning. No, flash flood warnings. There is a severe thunderstorm warning heading up towards Big Lake, Texas, though. $50 size, hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah, Pam, you gotta. The yeehaw cracks me up. I shouldn't be reading your messages while I'm literally in. Oh, there we go. Santi, I got you. Give me 1 second. Invite. Okay. There we go. Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Arkadelphia, Arkansas. You guys and your silly names over here in the South Central region, especially. I would love to look up like states with the silliest names. Arkansas's got some funny names. Wisconsin. Wisconsin has the craziest names. Wisconsin has the craziest names. Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia. You are in a extremely significant tornado risk zone tomorrow. Yep. Again, just to remind you, this is what's going on. So, it's a very tight risk zone, but to me, it looks like you're in that 15% hatched, which could go high, which still could go high. Again, we talked, the timing where we could see the worst moving through. You could see tornadoes moving through or tornado potential in the morning, Friday morning. But I would say as we get into the afternoon and into the evening hours, that's when stuff ramps up. Chelsea, I appreciate you, Chelsea. Any storms for Pittsburgh, PA? Some thunderstorms. Not looking severe any this weekend, really. Arkadelphia, yeah, it's in Arkansas. Houston may avoid some of... We might have a lot of those storms initiating to the northeast of Houston. It's still a question, but I would say definitely stay weather alert in Houston on Saturday. It's possible to get some bad storms down there. I did, Leanne? Okay, good. Sometimes you have to go out of... After I accept you, I think you have to go out of Discord and get back in. Those live weather updates, I'm going to have running tomorrow, but I'm going to have a bunch of them. If you go into live weather updates in Discord, I have those radars repost every 10 minutes with updated information. And I'm going to have a bunch of the single site radars in there through Arkansas, Mississippi, Western Tennessee, and Eastern Texas tomorrow. And we'll see. I'm trying to get a bunch of bots to just update a bunch of that information constantly, and I'll be in there as well. Kyle with the sub. Kyle, I appreciate you. Yeah, so wait, we were talking about another spot in Arkansas. Again, just to show you guys. Kyle, I appreciate that. Just to show you guys. Yeah, if you're subbed, it automatically gives you access with the perk to you automatically have access to my channel, my Discord. All of Arkansas is in a tornado risk zone tomorrow. Basically the entire state. And the majority of the state is at least in a 10% hatch risk. This is 70% of the state's in a 10% hatch risk. It's not an impossibility to start seeing spin-ups in the morning when the sun comes up. It looks like it's going to start looking it looks like it's going to get the most dangerous as we get into 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. Central on into the evening. I don't care where you are in Arkansas tomorrow, I'd be paying attention. If you live in this little corner, I'd still be paying attention, or down here, I don't care, because as this goes into tomorrow night, this is going to transition down here over you guys. So everyone needs to be alert and understand what's going on and have a plan. This year, Central and Eastern Arkansas. Yeah. Well, there's still been some decent severe weather in northwestern Arkansas, but it's definitely... Yeah, I mean, Eastern Arkansas was terrible. Central to northeastern Arkansas. Oh my gosh, yesterday that was bad. Well, Cape Girardeau, Mississippi, we hit again. Yeah, that one's pretty far south down there, isn't it? OJ's back. OJ, you got a sub. OJ, make sure you get into my Discord. Since you're a sub, you'll have that access. OJ with the Galaxy. OJ, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, OJ. Seriously. Thank you. Cape Girardeau, you guys are in a little bit of a risk. It's way less significant than it was before. You're in a 2%, and that's because you're going to have a bunch of moisture soaking this air up here, and you've had a bunch of moisture soaking you up there. I know that sounded weird, But your instability's down, which is good. So I have confidence that we're not going to see a big tornado go through Cape Girardeau. I do have confidence. Happy Friday. Let's go. I appreciate that, OJ. Happy Friday. Only about 10 minutes. I am about to get off. I've been on a little bit longer than I thought I was going to. But my Discord is up and running. I'm still doing things to it. But you can get in there. You'll have access. And I'll be in there, especially over the weekends, talking to you guys. And setting stuff up. Getting everything updated live. Yeah, OJ, where are you again? Remind me. I forget where everyone is constantly. There's like a few people where I remember, but remind me where you are again. Dun, 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 dun. Dallas, Fort Worth, Cedar Falls, Iowa. Oh, you guys are chilling up there. That's right. That's right. OJ, we talked about this. We talked about you guys are looking good, but let's check out your winter weather a little bit. I like looking at winter weather on Weather Bell. You're gonna have some very, very cold temperatures moving in soon. Yeah, not much going on for you guys up there. Probably the most significant thing is going to be your temperature anomalies that are going to want to push in here. Let's take a look at that. Temperature anomalies. Here we go. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Kyle and OJ, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you to anyone who's gifted or followed. I appreciate you guys. Go Pats, baby. And just being in here in chat. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Did not have to do that. Look at Iowa, okay? This is getting into early next week. Almost 20 degrees below average for a few days. So, what are your wind chills looking like up there if that's what we're seeing below average? Back into the teens. Back into the teens in April. So, for portions of Iowa. That's the biggest story that's going on in Iowa right now. Oh my gosh, it's going to be frigid. Well below average. Getting into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You got to get up there a little bit there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you start to warm up again. You get a little heat. We'll get what we call a death ridge probably settling in behind that. Yeah, see? Here comes the death ridge for the east. Here it comes. Check Discord when I can. Today was very calm, Pam. You guys are going to feel that cold weather too, but you're going to quickly have some warmth pushing back into Nebraska. You guys have been calm. You guys will be calm for a little bit longer. It's too calm here? Yeah, Yali, that's the problem where you are. It's too calm ahead of all that moisture. That's the problem. Cedar and Kyle, I appreciate you guys. It was a great day. I'm glad to hear it. I am concerned we could see another high risk, yes. I am concerned we could see another high risk tomorrow. Yes. Cincinnati doesn't look too bad. Flash flooding is a concern for Cincinnati. Same with Nashville. The tornado threat isn't super high through Nashville. Flash flooding's an issue. Tons of rain. We can see historic flooding through historic rainfall through portions of this eastern south central region all the way up through the Ohio Valley. Okay, guys. I'll be on Discord for a little bit after this, but just on my phone. But I gotta get up. I gotta get up early. I will be posting updates tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to be covering the severe weather as it's moving through eastern Texas and up through Arkansas, because this could be a little bit of a dangerous day tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Kyle, appreciate you again. Appreciate all of you guys. Anyone give this a follow, being here in chat, guys. I always like hanging out with you. And again, yeah, if you're a sub member, hop in that Discord. I'm setting it up. So, Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in there, a lot of updates constantly. I'm going to add some people to the team who can help moderate, who can help keep you guys updated with good information, and I'll be talking in there with you guys too, just off stream when I can. I appreciate all of you. And I will be back on tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. See you.